So do I miss Colombia? This is a question that I get quite a bit in my comment section. Now looking back on my time in Colombia, I really enjoyed it because I feel like I learned a lot about myself being in that country. It was always a dream of mine to go to Latin America, learn Spanish. The journey that it also took me on, I don't know if I was supposed to be in Colombia for 3.5 years, but it just kind of ended up happening. I got married and everything. And there's just something about the country that is just so amazing. In spite of all of their problems, Colombia is just still one of the best countries I've ever been to in my life. You know, I really think about the people going out and dancing. The food, in the beginning, I didn't like that much, but I ended up like really liking Colombian food actually. I think my channel was very different because I didn't just focus on the partying and the women. I really tried to take a different approach and talk about my life. And I think because of that, I lost a lot of subscribers. I didn't go quite as viral as some other people have. The amount of people that I've been able to meet on my journey, other big YouTubers, NFL players, famous people. That's why I'm so thankful to my experience and my journey in Colombia, because if I didn't go through all of that and document all of that, I wouldn't have met the amazing people that I've been able to meet in my life now. So would I move back to Colombia? That's a big question. I don't think I would move back there. I would go back to visit, definitely. I'm a lot more interested in the other parts of Latin America now, if I'm being honest. I hear so many good things about Brazil. I want to go to Argentina. I want to see Chile. I want to go to Mexico. Latin America still has a really beautiful, special place in my heart. I still think Latino women are still some of the most attractive in the world. But at this moment, I have no plans of moving back to Colombia. And I also think that Colombia is changing a lot. A lot of the things that I loved about it when I first arrived is different now. With all of the gringos coming in, and unfortunately, a lot of the content that's being made about Colombia, everybody knows this, it's all focused on the women and partying. A lot of people like to ignore all of the problems that exist in Colombia too. But just like anywhere in the world, it has its pros and cons. And there are a lot of things that I miss about Colombia, you know, after being in Asia for a while, because I'm gonna be honest, like the Philippines has been nice hanging out with family, but I'm so over Southeast Asia. I can't wait to go to Europe where things are cleaner, more organized, there's less pollution. A lot of things that I loved about Colombia I wasn't able to get here, like being close to nature, being able to dance, being able to be around people that I feel like get my vibe. Because in Colombia, I'm not too much of like the party person. When I speak Spanish, it taps into a part of me that I can't really share with a lot of people. For example, people ask me like, what's it like dating in Asia? I don't know really how to flirt in Asia, if I'm being honest, because my way of flirting is very forward, it's very romantic. I feel like I flirt the best in Spanish. And that's why I loved Colombia so much. It just brought out this side of me that as an Asian person, you can't really explore. Man, I had such a great time there. I would not trade it for the world. Do I see myself going back to the US? You know, a lot of people joke that I'm probably gonna end up with an American. I think it has to be someone who was a descendant of immigrants. Dark skin, light skin, I like them all. Asian, I think they're all beautiful and it doesn't really matter to me. If I were to go back, I would probably settle down in like Omaha or somewhere in the Midwest, some of the smaller cities. I look at the US, I see the culture, I see where everything's headed, and I'm just like, I don't want that for my life. Like there's just nothing for me there right now. I feel like I have to keep on traveling, keep on discovering, and there's just so much more of the world to discover. Will I get back with my wife or try to mend things with her? No, to be honest, I have no desire to do that. I think that we are just not the right people for each other. I don't think she can ever fully respect me if I still came back and tried to be with her again. She crossed a very strong boundary that I set. It's important for every man to know when to walk away. It was hard because I lost a lot, and you know, it cost me quite a bit of money, but I have my pride and my confidence and my self-respect intact, and I think that doesn't really have a price. Do I regret anything, or would I change anything that happened to me? If I'm being honest, I would not. I think everything that happened to me in Colombia, from the marriage to the divorce, getting the girl pregnant and the abortion and getting jumped and scammed, and you know, all these things just made me into a stronger, wiser man. Something that I learned through this whole thing is that I'm too trusting of people. And the reason for that is because I don't feel comfortable to go to my own family for things, because I don't truly, honestly feel at home with my own family, and that's like its own bag of issues. When I went to Colombia, I just put blind faith and trust into people that did not deserve it, and I ended up getting burned. Now moving forward, you know, I have a pretty tight-knit circle with people that I've spent a lot of time with, but introducing new people into my life, new women, new friends, I'm gonna better vet them and be less trustworthy, at least in the beginning, and have them earn my trust instead of just giving it out freely. And I don't regret how I did it because I was in a very vulnerable spot. I was in a new country all by myself, no stability during COVID, and I was lonely. Not being able to go home to my actual family and spend time with them because that's just a bunch of conflict. And the situations that I put myself in were a result of that loneliness. I think it's very easy for people on the internet to say, oh, you know, you should be better than that. You know, you shouldn't have made that decision. But I think it's really easy for people to say stuff like that when they're not going through it. You don't really discover what your character is until you get put in a position where you get tested. For me, Colombia was a testing ground in everything. My relationships with women, my relationships with my family, my relationships with authority, with father figures, with friendships that I let into my life. It just taught me a bunch of really valuable life lessons. So no, I don't regret anything that happened to me there. I'm happy with the man that I've become. When I go back to Manizales, I would love to go back one day because I feel like that place has a very special part in my heart. Death threats are things that I can't take lightly, and the man that sent me the death threats, he has an issue with violence. He's a very violent guy. He had an issue with drug abuse and all that stuff, and he just has no emotional control. Maybe today or right now he says that God is with him and he's good and he's nice, but I saw too much of the dark side, and going back there I wouldn't be able to face him because I honestly don't trust that he can have his emotions in check. A lot of people from the church, I just see them all as like hypocrites now. The way that they all dropped me with everything going on, they didn't even try to think to hear my side or see things from my perspective. They just went straight to villainizing me. I have nothing to say to them. There's no real benefit in me going back. I miss the city a lot. I love that place. You know, Manizales will still have my heart, and I'm sad that it ended this way, but you know, life goes on and I have to move on with my life. What have I learned in my journeys here in Asia? Really got to discover a lot about myself and my roots. Being here in the Philippines, I've been asking my family a lot of questions about my grandpa, about my dad, how they grew up. And it just gave me a lot more insight into why my dad is the way that he is and why we were raised the way that we are. And being able to spend a lot of time with my family and my cousins has just reminded me that, wow, I have a family here in the Philippines. It's been nice to go to a place where people are happy to see me, and being able to hang out with my grandma because she's getting old now and she's having health problems. I have some cousins that are growing up strictly Chinese, and their parents are like super strict, overprotective, won't let them date outside of their race. And then my parents, because we grew up in the US, they were a lot more open to things, and I didn't really appreciate that growing up in the US. I always thought they were so Asian. I have a newfound appreciation for how my parents raised us. All in all, I think they did a very, very good job. So what's next? I'm planning on going to Eastern Europe. That's where I'm being called to right now. I really wanted to see a lot of the Middle East as well. Unfortunately, all the conflict going on. I really wanted to see like Lebanon, Armenia, Israel for culture, and obviously because I want to be able to meet women in all these different cultures. My plans right now are to go to Poland. I'm also looking at Romania, Bulgaria, Serbia. So I'm just gonna do some research and explore those places. What are the reasons why I want to go to Eastern Europe? Cheaper cost of living, but you still kind of get that European way of life. Having nice public transportation, being able to walk everywhere, having a good work-life balance. I really want to learn more about Europe and how they live. Poland, I heard they're very open to Eastern Asian guys. Dating is definitely a reason that I want to go there. I hear that they're a mix of like modern and traditional, which I am as well, so that sounds really nice. It's just a way for me to get a new start in a new place. Because Asia is fun for vacation, but I can't see myself living here for a long period of time. I just want to experience something new and set up roots somewhere else and learn from all the mistakes that I made in Colombia. But now that I'm older, I have a little more stability. I'm not as scared of it, and I'm very excited for this next chapter in my life. Who knows where I'm going to end up, because I also want to see India, I want to see China, I want to see Russia, but I think ideally is to go to Eastern Europe, find a home base there, settle down, meet a girl, just try not to make the same mistakes like I did in Colombia. I'm in an explorative phase of my life. When I was 26, 27, I thought I had everything planned out, but I'm still very young and I still have a lot to see and explore, and I'm gonna take advantage of my youth. Just try to live as much experiences as possible and document it all on my channel. I feel like I really have the best audience in the world. The people that I've met through consultations and even in person, like you guys have been so amazing, down to earth and authentic, and I feel like maybe it's kind of the kind of content that I make, it attracts a certain kind of audience. It may not have big mainstream appeal, but I think for the people that get it, and that's why I'm very thankful for you guys. If I didn't have this YouTube, I would feel very alone. but it's nice to know that there's people out there that are open-minded, intelligent, and willing to have difficult conversations. Let me know what kind of content you guys want to see. I feel like I make so much content, it's hard to think about what my audience will want because a lot of stuff that I talk about, like, you guys end up liking anyways. Leave me some ideas down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you later. Peace out.